he was at the bottom. He never knew his father. He wished he never met his stepfather. Everything was against him. Everything. And yet, he is still at the top. He's still winning in life. And he is only 23 years old. He made it. He's living lavishly. He's living the life he always wanted. He shared his secrets with us. All you have to do is listen. Right? Iman Gadzhi is a 23-year-old entrepreneur. He grew up in central London but was originally from Dagestan, Russia, the same place that Khabib is from. Growing up, Iman wasn't living in the best conditions. He was spied on, left without internet, left without water. But didn't you say he was living in central London? Yeah, he was living in central London. He was. He also went to one of the most prestigious schools in not just the country, but the whole world. He went to a school with the children of millionaires, billionaires, politicians, but he himself was poor. I may seem to be contradicting myself, but once I explain the situation, it will all start to make sense. Not only that, but I think we will finally get an understanding around how Iman became the man that he is today. But before we get into all that, why is he so special? What about him has enticed me to make a whole video literally dissecting his life? Well, first of all, he is extremely young, like 23 years old young. He is 23 years old and he has tens of millions in the bank, tens of millions on his wrist. Most people at 23 are working their first corporate job trying to keep the bills paid, or they're going out partying. Most people at 23 aren't even thinking about how they're going to make their first million. Iman made his first million when he was 17 or 18 years old. Yes, he was still a teenager when he made his first M. Most people can only dream of that. But Iman lived it. Iman is extremely intelligent. And maybe he downplays it, or maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me, bro. If someone is able to get their first million before they're legally even allowed to drink, form relationships with the biggest watch brands, literally getting first dibs on certain watches from these big watch brands, and run multiple companies, including a software company, I feel as if some people don't understand what running a software company is like. I myself have never had a software company, but I've been learning to code since I was 10 years old and actually wanted to work for some of the biggest tech companies at one point. Like I wanted to work at Google, Apple, Microsoft, whatever. I was working towards that. And as I was learning about coding and the whole industry, I learned about how cutthroat it really is. Like even if you are working for a software company, it is extremely cutthroat. Like did you hear about what happened to Twitter? Or X as people now call it. I don't know why that is. When Elon became CEO, did you hear about that? He looked at the company and saw that too many people were doing too little. And he started firing. He did not care, bro. He literally just started firing people. People were making videos on TikTok like, oh my God, he fired me. Like they're crying about it, bro. Adults crying about this thing. Now imagine you own a software company. You have company buying company, employees leaving for a better company. You have you have to have a good company culture. You have to. And one of the worst parts about all of like the software stuff, in my opinion, one screw up by one dev of yours and your system could be left vulnerable to attack. Hey, your system could be vulnerable to attack right now, and you would just never know. Software companies hold a high valuation, but that's for good reason. They are a headache, bro. They are literally a crying foster baby that you feed and take care of until Big Daddy Conglomerate comes and says, hey, I would like to buy it. Besides him being extremely intelligent, there's also something else about Iman's brain that just sort of, I guess you could say, interests me. Iman is very resilient. And he goes and gets whatever he wants no matter the cost. Year after year, he has made more and more money at literally an exponential rate. He bought his mom a home in central London this year. As in central London. The same place where all the damn near, if not billionaires, buy all their property. Iman shouldn't look the way that he does at age 23. He is ripped, lives a fulfilling life, doesn't have to worry about money, doesn't have to worry about pretty much anything that he used to worry about when he was a kid. Which was literally 7 years ago. Less than a decade. Some people spend a decade after high school trying to get into a good uni, get a good job, get a good promotion, make good money, get a good home, get a good wife, get a good kid. In less than a decade, Iman has made generational wealth. Lived in multiple places around the world, multiple luxury places around the world. And he has led very profitable companies. Multiple companies. Iman has achieved a life with certain benefits only some dream of. And in less than a decade? And he's still a kid too. If you are under the age of 30, doesn't 7 years of pain and almost agony for everything that you have ever dreamed of? Because bro, that's what it's going to take, pain and agony. Isn't that better than 40 years of a mediocre life just to worry about whether or not your kid's going to be kind enough to pay for your meds this month? Isn't 7 years, doesn't that sound a lot better? Let's now take a deeper dive into Iman's life, starting from when he was born. Iman Gadzhi was born in Russia in the year 2000. His biological father was an abusive alcoholic and his mother had just left him. She had met a rich man who came from England and they both got married. Not too long after Iman's birth, he went to live in England with his mother and stepfather. For the first 5 years or so, Iman's life was great. His stepfather showed love by playing chess with him. His mother was a stay-at-home mom because of all the money that his stepfather was bringing. And his life was just good in general. You know, being in London, living rich and all. But then things changed. Iman's stepfather changed. He put Iman and his mother in an unkept house and started leaving for longer and longer. He stopped supporting Iman and his mother financially, only paying Iman's school fees and for the house. And this was literally just for tax reasons, to show that he was still technically married to Iman's mom, but he wasn't really there. And paying these school fees, paying for the house, that showed the government, hey, I'm still married with her, there's no bad blood. This devastated Iman's mother, and Iman soon came to understand that life wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, that his life was one that he needed to get out of. While in school, Iman was different. He had friends, of course, but those friends were children of the rich. They were born to families who would never have to worry about money. While Iman was worrying about whether or not he would have a meal to eat that night, whether or not the water would be hot. From 14, Iman was an entrepreneur. He would read a book a week, meditate, go to the gym, and he would even start his own business around this time, an Instagram theme page. Because of this theme page, Iman made his first few $100. But as well as making this first few $100, he saw that there was a way out, that he could make money right from his bedroom. This was both a blessing and a curse because people at his school would end up finding out, and they weren't too nice about it. Iman got bullied. We don't know how much he got bullied, whether or not it was getting pushed into lockers or if he was just a laughingstock, but he know that he was bullied and that the friends that he had were few and far between. Just a side note here, like those bullies must be so upset that they weren't friends with Iman, because now all of Iman's friends from high school, they're eating pretty good, bro. I mentioned earlier how Iman was an entrepreneur from age 14, similar to me. I also mentioned how his stepfather wasn't a very nice person. Despite Iman's best efforts to try and get his mom and him out of the situation that they were in, when his stepfather found out that he was trying to start a business, do you know what he did? He cut off the internet. He cut off the internet to that house, and now Iman's dreams of that sweet online cash, well, they were gone. Nah, I'm just playing with you, bro. His stepfather was evil and he did cut off the internet, but he started running his whole business over a hotspot. He started using a hotspot to run his business off of. He got an unlimited data plan and got internet that way. I'm putting such emphasis on this story because I know that most people watching this video would have just given up. Once your stepfather cut off your internet, you would have just said, oh, better luck next time. Stopped everything and not even have tried to find a solution. Even though the hotspot internet speeds were probably terrible, Iman was still able to run a business off of him. When Iman was 16, he started working for his football club, managing their social media content. And this was Iman's first taste to the SMMA industry. And it would change his life forever. At the time, Iman was getting paid not as much as he was worth, but he soon realized that he could start charging other companies, other businesses for his services at the same exact time. This SMMA business model is what changed Iman's life forever. He started getting money at a ridiculous rate. He started getting that real money when he was around 17 years old. And when he was around 17, he made his first million. 1 million at 17. Let that sink in. But, it wouldn't be a truly great story without some troubles. At 18, that trouble arose. His stepfather was back. Or he wasn't back. More so his lawyers were back, saying that he wanted to divorce Iman's mom. Now that Iman was 18 years old, no longer a child, there was no need to be with her. You see, there are no more tax benefits. Iman had to fight this legal case, and luckily, or skillfully, he seems to have won it. We don't know for sure. He's never really gone into detail about this. He then went on to make more and more money, making tens of millions during the pandemic thanks to NFTs and cryptocurrency. And now he's living the life that he has always wanted. Eating out with his mom every Sunday, chilling with millionaires on a daily basis, living on the Palm in Dubai, and never has to worry about internet or hot water ever again. Now, that was Iman's story, but what can we learn from it? I've already touched on this a little bit earlier, but we can really learn from Iman's resilience and the way that he just handles situations. Iman is just truly special. He is one of the best business content creators out there right now. I highly recommend his content if you don't already watch it. This is what we can learn from Iman Gadzhi. Stay working, stay healthy, get wealthy. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Yeah.